taking some time to reflect about when I became saved. I remember it was a December time, and I was 5 years old, 1984, and I was in church. And back in those days, the kids got to go to church with their parents, so it was always a fight to keep us quiet and whatever else. As I was sitting there, and this was the time when pastors would come out and preach about fire and brimstone and all these things that can happen to you if you don't get saved and all of that stuff. But as I was listening to his words and he was giving the reasoning for why you should get saved, it just, inside of me, I was just inspired. I was like, I want that. I want to be saved. I want to be saved. So they did the altar call. I didn't go up there. But when I went home, I went to my daddy and I said, Dad, I want to be saved. I want to give my life to Christ. I want to make sure that when I die, I go to heaven. And Dad asked my older brother, John, who's a year apart. He asked me, and then he asked my younger brother, James, who's a year younger than I, if we all wanted to be saved. And we all said yes. And it was my dad who actually led us in in prayer to be saved. And I remember after being saved, I was so excited. But Dad was like, look, there's some steps that you need to take now that you're saved. You got to do the right things. But there's something called baptism. There's baptism classes that you need to go to and take. And then once you take those classes, and then you can be baptized. And I'm telling you, looking back, I reflect, I feel the inspiration. I felt how excited I was when I asked God to come into my life. And I hope that whoever's hearing this testimony can understand that God is a good God, and He's a God that you can trust. And in your time of trouble, in your time of happiness, in your time of anything that happens around you, God is there and He's willing to guide you and show you the way. So that's my saved story. That's how I became saved. Thank you, Dad. But most importantly, thank you, God.